Hey, it's Joel from Reverb, live from NAMM 2024 here at the Revv booth with Derek and Sean. Going to be showing off what they've got new.
All right, so what we've got this year is we've got two new amplifiers. So we've got the 10th anniversary edition of our Generator 120. That is our 4-channel flagship amp that really started our brand. Dan, we've made different kind of revisions to it over the years, and Dan decided for the 10th anniversary to kind of go a little bit back to his roots, make it sound a little bit more like raw and like really throaty high gain tones. So that's what we've got in the Generator 120. And then we also have the G50, which has been anticipated by our customer base for a lot of years. It's essentially an upgrade from an amp that we had called the Generator 740. So now that amp's got 2 notes torpedo embedded tech built-in noise gate, reverb, things like that. So yeah, those are the two things we have this year.
All right, so let's start with the 120 here. Can you just a quick rundown of the main features, main
Sure.
channels?
So like I said, it's a 4-channel amp, and most of people recognize us by colors for channels. So channel 1 is the blue channel. That's our clean channel. Channel 2 is the crunch channel. It's the green channel. Channel 3 is purple, which is like I consider it the rhythm high gain. It's a little bit tighter, really aggressive. And then channel 4 is the red channel, and it's more of the lead high gain.
Clean channel, it's like a big open clean, very, very high headroom, but will take pedals really well. So we'll bang on to channel 2 now. Channel 2 is kind of the lower gain, think like JTM-ish, but a little more open. This amp's a little more aggressive, being the 10th anniversary, it's a little more raw.
That throaty quality that you're talking about.
Yeah, and you have different drive modes. That was a blue drive mode. You can go a little bit more gain. It's even higher gain. The bright switch, as well as adding top end, so anything I'm doing on the front of this can be done via foot switch, and it is programmable. And the amp will remember everything anyways as I bang through the channels. But that's that channel. It's a little more vintage. Channel 3 is going to be, it's kind of the channel that put Revv on the map, the purple channel. It's going to be higher gain, tighter, a little more modern. I can go to a blue aggression mode. Basically, more gain, more highs, a little bit more lows. And then I can go to the red channel. Even more gain, but a little bit looser in feel in the low end. We have 3 switches that can also be applied to that channel. Cut switch is going to actually bring out mids, make it tighter. It's not cutting mids, it's actually making it tighter. And then there's also a fat. It's just gonna make the amp sound bigger in the low end. Tons of lows. Now what I'm doing there applies to channel 4, which is gonna be almost the same gain, but a different feel in the way it's saturated, a little bit looser. Channel 4. See how it's already kind of just bigger? Yeah. Drive or aggression modes are the same. A little more saturated, same kind of concept. And red aggression. And then we have these switches here. Cut switch I explained. The fat switch. God, it's cold in here. Fat switch is going to make it even bigger in the low end again. And then of course the bright switch if you want to add that top back in. And of course reverb is on board, so if we go back to clean, you can hear the reverb. So that can be applied and assigned to any one of the channels. Yeah, and then of course master depth, presence is all global, 2 master volumes, so you can raise or lower foot switchably the overall level of the amplifier without touching your tone stack, channel gains and all that stuff. Obviously it comes with how you're hearing it with the 2 notes embedded. But yeah, this one is 10th anniversary, so yeah, it's a little bit more raw, a little bit more open.
Limited to 200 units, so once they're gone of the 10th anniversary editions.
What's the price?
$32.99.
G50 amp. When you were talking about this, you were saying it's one of the most anticipated releases.
Yes.
Why exactly?
Okay, so the Generator series started out with the Generator 120, the Generator 100, and then an amp called the Generator 740. The 740, it was and remains my favorite amp that we have ever built. It kind of straddles the line really well between like blues, rock, and metal. I don't really play metal, I play more like kind of hard rock, bluesy rock stuff. And there's just something about the way the Generator 740 is saturated that was different than the rest of the amps. It kind of bloomed a little bit better than the bigger bottle amps. So we've upgraded through like Mark 1, Mark 2, and now Mark 3 series with all of our amps. And the Mark 3 series are all amps that have reactive load boxes with IR loading from 2 Notes Torpedo embedded technology built in. We've had those out since 2020. And the Generator 740 has never been upgraded. So this is, 4 years later, the Generator 740 is finally getting upgraded. It's got a lot of extra features than what the 740 had. The original 740 did not have dual master volume controls, presence and depth controls, noise gate, reverb. So a lot more is packed into this. It is different. The Gen 740 was a quad of 6V6s, was its power section. This is a pair of EL34s. So it is a little bit different. It does make it a little bit throatier, but that's a big part of why it's more anticipated by our fan base, is that we've been asked repeatedly for that upgraded Generator 740, and specifically a purple channel version of it. Not the original 740 was red channel. So this is essentially a purple channel version of a Generator 740.
Incredible. Giving the people what they want.
Yes.
Yeah.
Channel 1, efficient, same kind of deal. You can get it to break up if you really crank it. We can't do that here, but yeah, it will break up a little bit. It's it's a 50 watt EL34 amp as opposed to 120 watts over here, so a little bit different there. Channel 2 is very similar to Channel 2 on the other amp. It's going to be more vintage. Super dynamic. Turn down. Super dynamic. Like if I play really soft, it's the feel is the thing on that. Definitely more vintage channel. You can get more gain out of it simply by hitting the drive switch. So blue drive's gonna be more gain. Hit it again. You get even more gain, more saturated. Almost more modern, Channel 3, that's going to be definitely more modern. It's going to have more top end overall. Bigger. I'm watching out for the NAMM police. There we go. Still pretty tight, but there is kind of a vintage kind of rawness to it. Same thing with this. You can go through aggression modes. More gain, more top end, more low end, just like on the other amp. You can definitely feel it in the low end. Hit the switch again, more saturated, more low end. A little bit looser feel. And that's my go-to for like high gain solos, just run it that way. We do have the 3 switches, I'll just run through them really quick. Bright switch does exactly what you think it does. More top end. Cut switch doesn't cut mids. It just makes the amp a little tighter and actually brings mids forward. So it doesn't scoop it out, you know. And then the fat switch does exactly what you think. It's just gonna make the low end much more spread out and enveloping. Just massive. And of course this amp has reverb, gate, all the same 2 notes, embedded, reactive, and software, Dyne IR. It's all on. We don't build anything that doesn't have that. Yeah. Yep, absolutely. And once again, dual masters, you know, raise and lower the volume of the amp, foot switchably. Because, you know, guitar players, it's like, oh man, but if I turn up my channel level, it's going to change the tonality. Well, then you can just foot switchably raise the volume of the amp without ever touching your tone stack. So once you get that where you want it, then you can foot switch between 2 different volumes.